3 years ago, none of us would have probably expected how much the Apex community has seemingly turned on our people's choice, fan-favorited, most popular Apex streamer, Imperial Hal. While it's important to note that the community most definitely still appreciates and loves Hal, things definitely are not the same as they were last year. So what's going on behind the scenes, and why are fans seemingly turning on this most popular streamer? So much to the point that Hal himself tweeted that he was getting the most hate he's ever had in his career. Well, firstly, let's back up to why he was so appreciated to begin with. You see, Hal is by far one of the biggest grinders in this game. Along with his now teammate Zero, they are by far the most decorated Apex players out there. Countless championships and titles, lots of consistency, and many appreciate how just far ahead of the competition they are, or have been. You see, for all that time, Hal was on a team that was widely considered the fan-favorited team, and that was TSM. Many renditions of this roster included himself, longtime teammate Reps, and many other thirds like Verhulst and Snipedown, and even Alberlelli. This was the first organization that really rose to just extreme popularities in this game, mainly because of the streamer himself, Imperial Hal. To make matters better for them, not only did they have the fan base in their corner, but they also had really good placements. And there came a time when Hal had switched from mouse and keyboard to controller, and the placements only got better. It is not even in question that this team was the people's team. They were the opposite of the villains. They were the absolute heroes of the scene, and everyone loved them. But then May 13th, 2024, all of that changed. TSM had posted the greatest of all time, thank you Imperial Hal, and after many years of being with this organization, he decided to step away and move to a different team, one that was the villain of the scene, Dark Zero's very own Zero and Genburten. It was really weird for fans to see the hero group up with the now villains, especially when the argued IGL GOATs were amongst the two that are now teaming together. Hal had always been in this alpha type role, leader of the entire team, and now he was putting himself under the new IGL, which was Zero, his competitor for the greatest IGL of all time. Many fans of Hal really did not like this, and they didn't appreciate the new dynamic of the roster. Many fans were a little skeptical after hearing the rumors of the roster, but it all made sense when they all joined Falcons Esports. This org is known to be loaded with money, so it was very obvious why they could afford this roster. The expectations were high, and despite doing really good in online scrimmages, they failed to actually execute at the LAN event and bottomed out at 20th place in the finals. Simultaneously, the team that won that event was the only other considered super team, which was Space Station Gaming. This obviously put their super team status into question, and roster changes followed suit. This is what led Hal to tweet the information about how the community was seemingly turning on him, saying, "I've been getting the most hate I've ever had in my career ever since joining Falcons, with a lot of other reasons along the way, and the last time that happened was right before ALGS North American Split 1 playoffs 2022, which, by the way, they won. And we know what happened then, so I'll see you all at Champs." Now, many people in the comments that were sharing their criticisms actually were being backed up with many likes, not many comments, and it seemed like the community definitely agreed that the decision to join Falcons was not the best one. There are a lot of replies to these tweets, including many criticisms towards Hal, some of which he actually responded to. But why were they getting upset to begin with? Here's where we go towards the drama side of the whole thing. So you did see Falcons Esports tweet out that Genburten was no longer along with this roster, as well as their coach ZZ. Now, ZZ was stepping away due to educational and schooling purposes, but Genburten, on the other hand, had seemingly been cut. Like many had suggested, the cut was only 6 days before roster lock, which meant that Genburten had a limited time to find another team before it was too late. So let's start it off with Genburten explaining the fact that he was dropped and kind of why this all happened.
Let me explain what I'm mad at. What I'm mad at, I don't care that I got dropped. I don't care about that. The thing that I'm mad at, or I got mad at, is that I had no notice. I genuinely had no notice that I was going to get dropped. I found out 6 days before roster lock. 6 days before roster lock by my own teammates. No, I didn't find out by my teammates. No, I did not find out by my teammates. Guess who I found out by? I found out by It's Timmy. My teammates didn't even tell me that I'm getting dropped. I found out by It's Timmy who messaged me. I didn't find out by that. 6 days before roster lock. And the only team that I could get in 6 days, I've asked around when I've got dropped and I found out. I went to Hal. I have DM recorded of that, saying that, is this true? And he said, yeah, it's true. And I'm like, Why didn't you tell me? Just, okay, I don't care that I got dropped. At least just respect me in some way. Just tell me that I'm getting dropped. Or like there's going to be a change happening. None of them said that.
So after Genburten explains what it was like getting dropped by Zero and Hal, you had Hal also explaining some things as to why they told him so late, including the fact that it was his birthday and they didn't want to be a Debbie Downer.
But this whole thing is Falcons bought a lot for both Gen and Zero, so we were worried that they were even going to allow us to get rid of him in the first place because they have the right to like reject us when it comes to that. And two, we weren't sure if they were going to be able to buy out Moist, the Walty and Draugr, and that's another thing. So by the time we like figured out all of this shit and confirmed everything, it was Jen's birthday. They're like, conveniently, it was Jen's birthday, and I was like, do I tell him now it's fucking his birthday? Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, happy birthday, but by the way, you're dropped. Like, you know? So, and coincidentally, Timmy fucking told him on accident. So, yeah, it was just all, like, conveniently just, like, yeah. That's basically how it went. Like,
Genburten also happened to be reacting to this on live stream, and in a Zip News video titled Genburten calls out Hal for not being honest about him, well, there were some discrepancies when comparing Hal and Jen's side of the story. Here's what Jen had to say.
And another thing is that we thought the roster lock wasn't going to be moved because roster lock initially was going to be like right after Germany was finished, but then LGS moved it, which changed a lot.
Wait, he said, wait, Chad, did he just say that
Yeah, God.
roster lock was supposed to be 1 week after Germany, but they moved it? So if it was it's rumored to be earlier, wouldn't they have talked about it earlier?
Yeah, right.
That makes no sense. Like what? If it's earlier, if it was earlier and then they moved it, obviously they talked about it way earlier. Like probably. There's no way. They would have had an idea if they wanted to do a change, in my opinion. Well, I've told Zero, I've told Hal, maybe not Hal, but Zero. I've told Hal, Zero specifically. I'm like, if you want to do any changes or whatever to the team, just let me know. I'm not someone that will bitch about it.
Like, we're not kicking you off the team. It's not true. It's not true. I could have lied. If I really wanted to be a piece of shit and deliberately fucking him over, I could have lied to his face and said, no, you're still on the team, and kept him.
Now pull up DMs. Now pull up DMs or what? Because it's pissing me off now. Because I have DMs of him before I found out, 5 days before I found out, or 4 days before I found out. I asked him, yo, I went to him, I messaged him on Discord because we're all radio silent after LAN, right? I went to him and I said, yo, what's going on with the team? What's with the radio silence? Can you let me know? Is there a change happening? He said, there is no change happening. So isn't that basically fucking me over?
Now, after all of this was over, there were many admissions saying, yes, it wasn't handled properly. Yes, it could have been handled better, but we just felt like we were doing the best thing that we could in the moment given. So Falcons went on to announce their new roster with Walty and Draugr, and then Genburten announced his new roster with Timmy and Designful. Luckily, things worked out, and Jen never really got screwed out of a champ spot, but it leaves very clear reasons as to why what was once the fan-favorited streamer is getting so much hate, and so many people are turning on him. Now, on the same post where Hal had said he was getting so much hate, many people began to comment, one even mocking Hal, saying, we decided to cut our teammate, not tell him 6 days until roster deadline. Oh yeah, also had to find out from someone other than us, just in case you weren't aware from the clips earlier, it was Apex streamer and now teammate, it's Timmy, who accidentally told Genburten what was going on and not the team itself. So Hal began responding to some of these comments, including one who actually admitted to be a big Imperial Hal fan and just say, the only thing I'm not really happy about is the fact that he teamed with Zero, right? The arch nemesis. So while the transition is going on and the hate is out there and Hal is experiencing the hate and it seems like people are turning on him, it does also seem like he's aware of what he signed up for. Apex streamer His Watson made a great point though, saying when you win champs, then post this from Pete Weber saying, hate or love me, you watched. And it's true, we're all here for the news. It's just definitely weird to see someone that was by far the favorited player now possibly becoming the heel of the community. It definitely makes for great storylines, but at least it's for something like this and no personal exposures or or anything crazy. So will Hal be able to win it all and silence the haters, or will the community rally behind a new hero? Apex streamer It's Timmy is now teaming with his former teammate Genburten along with Designful, and many are starting to rally behind that roster. What are your thoughts on the Apex Legends streamer community right now? Let us know down below. Like and subscribe for more Apex Legends content. And until the next time, we'll see you all